Welcome to the Laser Source Podcast, your number one podcast if you enjoy putting people on the spot and causing them social anxiety. I'm your host, Anthony Montez.
And there's a few more of us here.
That's pretty funny.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. How's it going?
Fine.
All right, there's people. There's people coming in now. Anthony, you killed it. I think it's the new haircut gave you all the confidence.
I think it was.
It's confidence inspiring, unless
Like-
you ask my children.
What? Do you want to tell people what your children did when you came home with it? Yeah, they just straight up laughed at him.
What's on your head, I think, were the first things to come out of somebody's mouth.
That's when you're like, maybe I don't feed you tonight.
Right?
This was a controlled test for toupees in the future, and it failed.
That was like the day after Christmas. I shaved, like we did the whole family thing. And I was like, all right, I'm going to shave and just so I can feel what the air feels like on my face again. And I came out and my daughter literally stopped playing with whatever she was doing. And she goes, that's unfortunate. And I was just like, God. Oh. And then my wife's like, Evelyn. And the boys just like shook their heads. No, they didn't even say words. They just went like someone had just farted in their face or something. Like, no. Right? Alex, do the abuelita. How does it go?
No.
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 No me gusta. So tell us what's going on with you guys. What's new, guys? Anything exciting?
I have plenty going on, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
Alex has had traumatic day.
I spent my last 2 days cleaning. I'm probably going to be getting a dumpster.
Spring cleaning.
You could say that.
Anthony, what about you, man? How's the new shop going?
Great, man. It's going really good. I just trying to stay busy. I have some big jobs coming through. There's a restaurant across the river in Nauvoo, Illinois, that they're getting ready to open. The guy converted this gas station into a restaurant. I made his signs for him. 3 foot by 6 foot wood sign that I cut the letters out of for him.
Nice.
And I cut out a 1/2 inch plywood, a 5 foot by 7 foot, just the letters this time.
Holy
So
shit,
one's cutting out letters on a piece of wood, and the other one's just cut out letters that he put up on a giant piece of wood for his sign by the street. So
that is super intense. Like, so how, did you treat it like a special way? Because we had a Wild Willow Woodworks on here a while back, and she made that sign for outside. Like, but she didn't remember what they did to. I think she just said they painted it with like a coat of something.
the lettering that I cut out for him, I just primed it and then put like 3 coats of this heavy duty outdoor rated
Exterior
spray paint
stuff.
for him. Yeah. And then the sign that I cut the letters out of, it was kind of like a butcher's block style where it was like planks glued together. And
Right.
so I just sanded that and I used a what's this stuff called? It's a varnish made for like outdoor, like the outside of doors. It's an outdoor rated varnish. So I'm
Like a
drawing
shellac or
blank.
something.
Basically, yeah. So
Gotcha. And that's my one thing too. Is like, did he want you to like affix it to the wall, or how did you guys do that? Yeah,
no,
'cause
he ended up doing that himself. Yeah,
I had a guy who wanted me to make a sign, so I did, and then he was like, "Well, can you put it up for me too?" And I didn't really know how to tell him like no. I mean, I did. I ended up just telling him no, but I'm like, I didn't, because like you want to be professional, and then they're like, "Oh, you don't put up your own signs," and it's like, because liability wise, dude, oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I would just say, "I'm sorry, I'm not insured for that." And then
Well, and that's
just leave it
basically,
at
I just
that.
told him I didn't have the hardware for that. I'm like, yeah, that's not something I've ever done before, and I'm not ready to offer it that service at this time. And he just was like, oh, okay. But like, dude, especially a sign as big as yours, mine was like 3 foot by like 18 inches, I think. Like,
Yeah, this was definitely a big job, and it was one of those ones that, thank God, I have a pass through on my CO2, because otherwise it just would have been impossible. His first idea was he wanted to cut it out of steel, and I was like, I just can't do that. So we came up with some different ideas. and that's what we went with. So it's like a natural wood, and then there's I stained the inside of the cutout black, so it's nice and dark, and there's contrast there. And then at night he has LED lighting behind it, so it's going to be
Like
backlit.
stands out like that. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, pretty tight.
All right. By the way, we just giving Alex a little more time to get ready there. He's working on some technical stuff behind those boxes.
Am I?
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Right. Just tell him you're doing technical.
So at some point, maybe at the end of the episode, I'd really like to get like a little tour, maybe, Anthony. Do you think we could arrange that? Like if you come in on your phone?
Can you at least turn the camera around? Because it was pretty dope view a second ago.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm at like my desk / reception area, so I'm in an old bank building, and this is my view out the front. So
Holy
there's
crap!
lots of natural lighting. There's a spot over there. I'm still kind of in the process of figuring out how I'm going to use it. I kind of want to like
a showcase room.
That, or if we were going to have the potential of getting people in here to do like sign parties and stuff like that. So if I put like a work table in there, then there could be like 2 walls with a table and some benches or some stools and stuff for people to sit on and work on things. So
yeah, dude, that would be awesome.
I can't believe like you just have. It's not even the amount of space; it's like the quality of the space for what you're paying for it. It just seems
insane.
Like crazy, unrealistic.
And what you don't see behind him is there's a whole room behind him, and then there's on the other side that he showed you. There's a whole room behind that. It's like super crazy.
I don't know if we can see it.
Before we're done tonight, if we have time and you're willing, Anthony, I think somebody,
so crazy,
including me, would like really like a little mini tour, if you don't mind.
It's wrecked right now, but sure.
Dude, look at my desk. Are you serious? I'll show you around later.
So,
this whole place looks like a bomb went off right now. It's awful.
A good segue for that little work room we were talking about a second ago. So what I've been working on is I got a whole bunch of really cool stuff from our sponsors, Johnson Plastic Plus, where they literally, I know, but they sent over some really cool stuff called like craft plastic. I'd never even heard of it. It's 4 millimeters thick, or 0.4 millimeters thick. Well, not 4. Whoa. It's 0.4 millimeters thick, and it's like, I was like, what am I going to do with this? And then came up with the idea for like a carrot, right? But I hate painting and crafting. So I literally made these cool little things, and no painting, no nothing. And they're pretty slick, man. Oh my God. Who did that? There you go. Like, I don't know who did that one. So literally what's really cool is I made a video today showing you guys the process of this. And it's really simple, but what's cool is I took this file like that, the SVG, and then I basically used the cut shape tool to create like a little pinch point where I had the green and the orange, and then I just cut out the letters and used the white MDF behind it to be a really cool hang tag for Easter. So if you're like me and you hate painting, it took like 10 minutes worth of design time, but the good news is it meant no drying, no sanding, no nothing. I just put adhesive tape on from David Brown, and bada bing, bada boom, bada furred. Right, so there you go.
Dude, this came out great. Also, it was me that misclicked. Sorry. So last time that we did the episode from the shop, I turned around the program monitor so I could see what the hell I was doing. And this time I made the StreamYard screen full screen on one of the other ones and turned that around. So now I can see both. Yeah, now I can see both. It's awesome.
It's pretty slick. So yeah, so that'd be really cool.
Sorry.
That's the kind of thing you could literally do these kind of files, have them pre-cut and ready to go, and let kids like make all kinds of really cool stuff with no painting.
That's huge.
Just saying. Like, that's where, yeah. I did the math on, I think it comes out to like 2 cents a square inch on the material, something like that.
And you have an episode coming out for that, right?
Yeah, like I literally just filmed it today, and I'm hoping, since we've got Easter like 2 weeks away, right? Not this weekend, but next, I think.
Yeah.
I hope. God, this like year is flying by.
It is
just about the editing queue. So
last weekend in March.
It should be coming out like right on time.
Yeah, so that's it. So I'm gonna dump all that files, the footage that I took today, and it's also just a really good skill. So that's what I was talking about, Alex, because he was like, what skills are you doing in there? And it's applying tape. Like a lot of people have never really applied adhesive tape, double-sided. But it's super simple, especially with flat plastic. You just drop it on, air bubbles, bada bing, bada boom. And then the cut shape tool is just such an easy thing that you don't really think about using. So I think it's a pretty useful thing, especially with the holidays in the future. If you're making any type of letters, by the way, for ornaments or for coasters, you can take one of the letters in the alphabet, chop it, and create your own alphabet, basically, for engraving. So just a thought. Let's see. There's a bunch of questions in here, I think.
If you can share my screen, if you want to at all, to see the signs. Is there something special I have to do, or can you just grab it?
You would hit share or present, like the little plus
On the
square at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then you select what you want to share, if it's a screen or one of the whatevers. And then when you do, we'll click it on and I'll get you. Yeah, this is one of the sayings at our house: bada bing, bada boom, bada ferd. So, like, I picked up today the kids from school, and I was like, the bada bus just got here. And, like, the people who work there just stared at me like, are you sure you want to get in the car with this adult children?
That's bada bogus.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Look at this chair. It's not tall enough for the...
Here's a good one I want to bring up right now. True Tech says, anyone slice up food with a laser before? Yes.
No.
It's usually regrettable.
Yeah.
Alex has done a bagel. I did an Oreo.
Yep. We both, to be fair, we both did the Oreo. Yeah. I just wasn't dumb enough to eat it.
Yeah, I ate it, and it was a horrible
experience.
licked
mine.
That was one of, like,
gave mine a lick.
It's rare that I watch the screen and go like.
So, like, here's how I like to describe eating a lasered Oreo. You know, after you do like a season worth of grilling and all that little like fat charcoaly crap on the bottom of the grill after you've not cleaned it for like 6 months. Imagine taking a spoonful of that and eating it. And that's kind of what it tasted like. And the taste didn't go away for like 4 days.
The bagel was similar.
You're welcome.
I'm just like very acrid.
Lasered food is not the go-to.
It's not the way.
No.
It's anti the way.
Yeah.
Like maybe a marshmallow. Maybe.
If you lit it on fire and could charcoal it just right, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, they engraved the pumpkin pie at LBX with the logo.
I didn't get a slice of that. Was it any good?
I didn't notice anybody complaining about that. I didn't eat any. I tried to give some to my kids, but they were too busy looking at all the. It was during the little
like all the craziness.
So they were looking at all the different stuff out there. So
I don't know. Maybe pumpkin pie has some special property that makes that kosher, but every piece of lasered food that I've ever consumed has tasted like Satan's butthole. So.
Yeah, it's not an uncommon thing for like brandings to be burned into like cheese platters, like cheese on cheese platters, like whole ass cheese wheels that get displayed at like corporate events and stuff like that. But you wouldn't want to do it on something that you actually have to like cook it into to actually get a mark.
All right, here we go. I see it. It's coming. There we go. Hey. All right. So what do you got? Tell us about it.
So yeah, the sign on the left-hand side is the one that I cut the plywood letters out of. And then, so that's just a big board with them glued to it. And then the one on the right-hand side is the one. That was, what, 5'4", so it was 1.25 inches of wood that I had to cut through with my my little 80-watt CO2. So that was very time-intensive, but I think the end result turned out pretty darn good. So.
That looks awesome, dude.
How tall did you say it was?
Your mic is crapping out on my end.
The small sign's 3 foot by 6, and then the larger one's like 5 foot by 7.
That's wild, dude. That looks really good. And so the one that's on the right, like that's closest to the camera, that's the one that has the backlighting behind it?
Yeah, it's not installed yet, but it will be very shortly.
Dude, that's dope.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so after that, then there's a bunch of like swag and merch that the guy wants to do too. So that's, you know, just trying to, I just off the top of my head came up with some ideas for him because I saw some racks in the corner of his restaurant when I dropped the signs off, and I was just like, what you got over there? And he's like, oh, well, I'm just kind of trying to get some merch and stuff. So I came home, found everything I could think of that a restaurant would want their name on. And Nauvoo is a real touristy town. It's an old town, and for people who are involved, like in the Mormon religion, it's a really big, like they have a temple there, and
yeah, it's like the
Reno. There's one that was
Midwest.
originally like burned down and got torn down, and then they rebuilt it recently. So it gets a lot of traffic, and so he's wanting stuff that he can sell. So I had a hat that I bought a hat press and a hat and stuff and just never got around to messing with it. So I broke all that stuff out. I made a hat for him.
Nice. I was just about to say that's a good way to do it, man.
Yeah, and just dropping stuff off.
The value of like the invoice total for like everything that you did for them?
I haven't closed out the deal yet for the merchandise, so that's TBD.
Nice,
but yeah,
that's good. That means they want more. That means you're making more.
For sure. Yeah, I just dropped off demos. So I gave them a hat, a couple keychains, a glass, and like a T-shirt. So it all came to like maybe $20, $25, and I'll end up scoring, you know, a really good deal out of it and making some good money off of that relationship.
You've been so busy, dude.
Trying.
Yeah. And the other thing too is I'm glad that you took samples. I know like somebody, I think it was in Discord like a month ago or like a couple of weeks ago, somebody was like, is it okay to take samples in to show people your stuff like with their logos on it? My answer is yes. Most of the time when I've found anything like that, number one, they don't even have an appropriate logo. Like I'm like, hey, do you have an SVG? And they're like, I have this picture of a picture that I took on a phone with my phone. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I just go on their website and find it and I make stuff for them and they're like blown away, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually the cup order that I had. I think it was like 45 cups from a high school. I took like a new principal had gotten hired. So I literally made him a cup with their logo on it, took it to him with a Christmas ornament and said, hey, you know, congrats. I kind of knew him. So I said, hey, congrats on being the new principal. I brought you over a couple of things. So way to go. High five. And he ordered, I didn't hear from him like for 2.5 months. That was in like September. And then right at the beginning of December, he called for like the same thing. He was just like, oh, sweet. I want 40 of these and 40 of those. Right. I mean, what do you guys think? What's your take on that? Is it okay?
Yeah, just this past Saturday.
What would the counter argument be? I don't know why.
So some people are like, you shouldn't do something with other people's logos, and this is like in various groups. I've seen it in like 3 or 4 different groups. People might be mad you use their logo, and they're like, "Who are you? I don't know you."
I think if the only recipient is the business, and they respond that way, then fuck you.
And I've personally thrown that caveat out there, like. When I go to a new company, I don't know who they are. I will ask for a manager, or I'll go in there and scout and build a relationship with that manager first, and then come in and say, I have this for you. And don't worry, you know, this is the only thing that I put your logo on. I'm not trying to scalp your stuff, but here you go. This is something that I might be able to do for you in the future if you'd like, you know. So I always throw that out there, like, I'm not putting this on anything else but this one item or these 2 items that I'm giving to you. And I've never had any negative feedback on that.
I think as long as you qualify that they own all of the produced product, that's what else could you possibly need to say? I can't imagine. I have a really, really hard time imagining a business owner responding with that from that negative angle.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody respond that way before. And if somebody did, it would be like a bizarre exception.
Like, that's where I would say, well, I'm not the manager or the owner. I just work there, and they wanted me to bring it by. My boss's name is Kyle, and I've got his phone number right here. He lives in Connecticut.
I would be very much in the same position of if I was doing that as like a sample to like show a small business or even a medium-sized business what I could do. I would put the addendum there of, yeah, I'm not reproducing stuff. This is just a sample for you, for your uses, because it's yours. I'm not giving it to anybody else. And if you tell me you don't want anything from me, then I'm literally, it's gone anyway. So
Yeah, I'm with you. And the other thing too is like I've always told people, if you like this product, you should wait until you actually give me your real logo, because like this was my attempt at your logo. Because there's sometimes where people have some like wild stuff, and it's like you need that SVG to get it done.
Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, there's just a thought that I had, but I feel like I've had nothing but positive out of that too. So just something I noticed, and it was in our Discord where I saw that people were like, "Is it okay to do that?" And so yeah, I think the precursor is pretty important for it. But you know,
People like getting free shit, dude.
And
Yeah,
if you have an
another thing is-
opportunity to like build a relationship with that person first, like if it's a coffee shop or a brewery or something like that, go in there and like buy stuff from them first. Like, hey, I'd like to try out your new beer or something. And then they see your face a couple times, and then you stop by with stuff to give them. And I think that would definitely soften them up a lot too.
Speaking of free shit, Cloud Ray made this for me. They did not gank my logo for it.
I mean, it's pretty much like spot on though. What are you talking about?
Also, they sent me this. I said I was going to wear this today, and I totally didn't. But it's an apron. It's in the thumbnail.
You should
Look at
put your French fries in the pocket right in front of you.
For
that is
sure.
beast mode right there. Oh yeah, dude. Quick access. French fry.
Yeah.
If
All
you
right,
tighten
guys,
that neck
let's-
part up, you could probably just like dip your face down and like grab them with your mouth. You don't even have to use your hands.
Oh, there we go.
Has anybody
Oh,
seen my
sick.
cheeseburger? Oh wait, it's in the fourth
hey.
pocket.
You know what? It's actually it's kind of like a nice burlap material. The
Oh yeah, that's like
screen printing is a little rough, but you know, I'm here for it. Look at that. That's
It
Dude,
looks
nice.
like, yeah, it looks heavy duty like canvas or something. That's
that
tight.
would have. I was
Yeah,
gonna say
it's
that
like
would have actually
canvas.
been really nice today with all the freaking gobbledygook I had.
Yeah. Now
These
I'm
hands got
representing
disgusting.
Cloud Ray over here. Podcast is sponsored by Johnson Plastics Plus. This apron is sponsored by Cloud Ray.
let's smash a couple questions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
let's do
before
it.
that, Laura said that's the best apron ever.
Yeah, there you go. I'm a
So
pretty big fan.
Oh my god! All right, there you go.
Hector says, is it okay to mention brands or just issues and questions specifically? Yeah, dude, if you have a question about a specific brand, if we have feedback
If what
about
you
it,
have to say
for it.
adds more value than mentioning a brand name for the sake of mentioning a brand name.
yeah, don't just do shout outs for brands.
Yeah, I wondered too, like if he thought like maybe
Obviously.
it wouldn't be okay to
That's our job.
like, bash somebody or something. And that's the other thing too. Like whenever you do mention somebody, like if you're wondering, like if you've got an issue with a brand, I think it's okay to discuss it, but with context. you
Yeah, as
know?
long as you're not slandering people on the channel, then we should be fine.
Yep. Rent Collector says, can a guy stay busy with a fiber laser? I'm not a
Yes.
crafter. I am interested for work on guns.
You'll be the busiest.
Yeah. And because I was given an opportunity to do a lot of production work for a car
Yes.
or on car parts for a race shop. Yeah, you can totally stay
Yeah.
busy with a fiber. There are a lot of people who only have a fiber laser and run it all
Nonstop.
day, every day. The work's out there. You need to line it up. You need to find it. You need to, you make connections with local businesses or
You guys are going to be hearing a lot more about that because I accidentally opened my laser business by accident a couple days ago. It's not a dead ass. That was not clickbait. I was in here. Miranda was here, and I think I was on the phone with one of you.
Yeah, I
Was it
was.
you, Matt?
Yep.
And like this guy, super nice guy, but you know the new studio's in the basement of our build. We're out of the way. You have to like wander into the back rooms to find the studio, and this dude did it. He's just like, I'm on a mission. I'm getting this shit engraved, and he wandered through the back rooms and found the studio, and he just kind of waltzed in. He was just like, "Hey, I need some engraving."
The best
Yeah.
part was Alex is like, I gotta go. There's like some guy here, and I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't even know. And then he just hung up, and I was like, oh, all right, bye.
Yeah. Miranda heard it first. She's like, "Is somebody in our office?" It was bizarre.
She's like, I
Because
hear
we've been planning on reopening the shop, but it's not. We weren't planning on doing it tomorrow, you know. So he wandered in, and he had a bunch of shit. He had a bunch of Swiss Army knives and compasses, which of course were both plastic. So kicking it off right with the UV, and I finished the job today. They actually came out They came out really good. I don't have a picture of it in a place where I can easily throw it up on the screen, but it came out fine. I relayed the settings to Kyle so we can add them to the website later. But
Yep.
yeah, it was just unexpected. I actually didn't even end up charging him for the work because I didn't have my point of sale up yet, so I couldn't take his money because I wasn't there. We weren't planning on opening, so I haven't like reopened my Square account and like gotten the reader all linked up. So I was just like, you can just take it, dude. And it was probably like $70 or $80 worth of stuff, just based on what I would charge for UV work. And I just let him have it. I was like, you'll get me next time. But yeah,
and he probably will too. Like he'll probably definitely come back and
definitely
more business. So
just put a contract out there and be like, sign it in blood. You'll owe me a favor one day.
Yeah. When I am doing really little stuff, dude, I give away freebies all the time. It's so easy to just be like, I would charge you $25 for this at a minimum, or I could make you like crazy happy and just throw it back to you for like 5 minutes worth of work. It's kind of like the customer level version of bringing the free stuff to the restaurant or whatever. I give little freebies away to just normal people all the time, especially because those normal people know the freaking customer, or the restaurant owners or what have you, the brewery owners. Everybody knows everybody.
Word of mouth. And
I'm gonna say in a town like that, someone goes, "Oh, I love these. Where did you get them?" And it's like, bam. And then Miranda wanted to tell people, by the way, we have alarms and cameras. The door was open because you were moving stuff between the two.
Well, yeah, we were here. It was the middle of the day. Yeah, totally. But
because Laura said security.
Circling back to that last question, because he mentioned gun stuff. If you're going to be doing a lot of gun stuff, make sure you're not getting yourself in trouble, because there are legalities you need to follow depending on what you're doing.
There are that we don't cover here.
State level.
Nope. Yeah. Nope. We're not giving advice on that, but
we specifically
look into FFL stuff.
Do not cover that on this channel for that reason, because it's just so gross that I don't want to get caught in a bear trap on that.
Reach out to the ATF yourself and start that process on your own.
Dude, and you know what? Everybody that I've talked to that has undergone this process, that has reached out to like an ATF agent, has said that they've been incredibly nice and helpful.
Yeah.
So we've
also been told that they've gotten different answers depending on which ATF office they called.
So
call the local one that is going to be overseeing you.
Yeah.
And the one that's going to be stopping by your office.
Well, and that's the thing. Yeah. Every time someone calls about an FFL, it's job security for them. So they love you guys. Like that's literally what they do. So
actually, I had 2 goals that I wanted to achieve this year. The first one, I wanted to get set up with the University of Iowa to do their license stuff, but they're out of control. So I kind of pushed that to the side.
They're like, that'll be $45,000 and that'll cover you for 6 months.
Well, I don't want to talk bad about them or anything, but they're a little bit on the extreme side. But I kind of pushed that to the side. That got replaced with I think with the amount of requests I've gotten so far, I do want to apply for an FFL.
Nice.
So that's something that is kind of daunting, but it's definitely something that I think I can make a lot of money off of, because I live in the country, dude. It's a big, shotguns.
The demand is just off the charts.
So, and
and
I've already had to turn down a bunch of business because
if you're the only guy who can do that in your area too, I'm not trying to say charge what you want, but you basically have like a monopoly on that, So, and also I know, like, I'm in the South, as you know, and there's so many people who pass guns down and do all kinds of stuff like that. And I have so many friends of mine who are in law enforcement and they want stuff done to their personal pieces. But I told them, I'm like, you as a law enforcement officer can understand I can't do that. And they're like, fine. But it sucks because especially because they go, and when they go to the range and they show off that piece, 10 more guys are going to want that stuff, or people, guys or women, whoever, any officers who want it are going to come find you.
I've had to turn down a couple of people as well. And actually people who there's an FFL Smith here who does building and all that stuff. I don't know the terminology or the numbers, but they asked if I could label stuff for them. I'm like, does that mean you have to bring them here? Because I'm not bringing the laser there, and you're not operating it. So I don't know the legality on that.
Yeah,
I
not
think we're
worth.
gonna wait on that. How about you get a laser and I'll teach you?
Yeah.
So, Laura said paint parties are good money makers. Circling back to what Anthony said earlier. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Boyce has been doing pretty well with those too. Like he's actually been, if you look at his Instagram and stuff like that, I think that he and Diana have been doing really well with those. So more power to them.
Yeah, like right around the corner and 3/4 of a block up, there's the Fort Madison Area Arts Association.
Oh,
And
awesome.
I had a meeting with that lady last month, the one that runs it, and we kind of sat down and talked about like potential projects that we could do together in the future. And I told her I've got 1,000 square feet of like open usable space. Like we can make something happen. So we're gonna meet up again soon and try and get all the details kinked out. So
That's pretty dope, dude.
yeah, it's exciting.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just wanted to show, like, I've been breaking out all of the flat stock and stuff, and I added it as part of the set because we're going to be covering a lot of it on the channel again when we're doing like projects and jobs for people and stuff. So I've been filling the shelves with like all kinds of stuff. I've got every kind of like slate that you could possibly want. We have a big, beautiful pile of glass up here. Really pretty.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, dude. Pro tip on buying glass for your shop, even if it's just to practice on, go to a store, probably online, that sells displays for like stores, like
Display
shops,
cases,
like a display case. Yeah, these are replacement shelves.
Oh, that's smart.
These are replacement shelves for those display cases, and they're thick. Look at that. They're like at least 1/8, like 3 millimeters thick. And this was what I was using before, which is crazy thin. This is like 1 millimeter picture frame glass. Yeah, that I just ganked from a bunch of picture frames. This is so much better for testing, and it is usually a little more realistic because glasses, even just drinking glasses, are closer to this than this. So, pro tip on buying glass if you need it. It's a really
by the way, for anybody who, if you can show that again, that little thin guy.
Yeah.
Anybody who's ever practicing on their UV with this, and I found this pretty true. Your depth of field is only 1 millimeter or so, but it's enough to actually go between. Like if you have any type of warpage on that glass, it'll actually shoot like engrave on the top, then engrave through the bottom, and you'll think you're out of focus, but you're not. You actually, you just need the thicker glass like Alex was talking about. So that's one of those things. Like I was helping a guy one night for like an hour and a half, and it just ended up he was using crappy glass.
Yep.
And once he got like the real glass, it was like perfect.
I also got out, this is all of the Johnson plastic. Go ahead, Kyle. What was that?
I just said wham.
Oh, yeah. This is my collection of Romark from JP Plus. I have that over here. And then this is all of the Ukuch hardwood that I have.
Oh, you're like a
which
came, bad boy.
Yeah, this came in the
that's a lot of wood, Alex.
Yeah, thank you. Most of this came from the seconds boxes. There are a few sheets in here that were like cut that are like project ready boards that I have. I just cut a focal stick out of one.
Nice.
But the rest of these are from the seconds boxes. You can see that they're really nice. And they gave me basically like every domestic wood known to mankind, which is really cool.
See, I'm like super weird about my plastic though. Like I never stand it up like that. I'm afraid it's gonna warp. Like I always lay it flat, always.
Dude, you know what? I lay it flat too, and it warps anyway. So
nice.
This is just there for convenience now. They also sell these sample kits, which are really nice. So these have all of the
so damn nice.
Yeah, they're so nice. They're all marked with exactly what they are. And I just keep them in little packs like that in case I need to reference them. And there's just a bunch of other stuff, man. It's just, it's all lit up down at the bottom. I don't even think you can just barely see it down there. There's polyurethane leather, felt. I have big sheets for lens corrections, which I'm going to be redoing soon. All of my machines are going to get fresh Lightroom lens corrections.
Maybe me and you sit down one day and have a lens correction party.
Yeah. Arctic tumblers, glasses, all kinds of glass things. I think we should redo that list soon of like low cost items to keep in your shop, because I don't know. We have a lot of really good stuff I feel like we haven't talked about before. But yeah, just getting this all like sorted and put away. So I wanted to show that because I've been working on that, but that's that.
Noise.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could show you all of the shit that I have in this place. This is like a nightmare. I literally was thinking about selling like flat stock that's just not moving.
Yeah.
You know, like just putting it out there wholesale. Like, here you go. Shave $1 off each piece and then just put it in a box and ship it out just to make room.
Yeah.
Mm.
We Do Widgets asks, good evening. I made it this week, at least for a while. Is 6-ish the new time?
It might be. I don't know. I think it's harder on Matt. But I find it substantially easier to do this time. Just because when at 9 o'clock, basically, and we started doing 9 before I had babies. And now that I have babies, it's like right when Coraline should be getting ready to go to bed. And what ends up happening over and over and over again is we're like, she'll be asleep by 9. And then she's not. And because she's overtired, she's an actual terrorist. So this has been easier because we do the show at 6. We're done at 7. I head home. And then the kids are actually starting to get like tired, and I'm there for it to be like, you know.
Yeah, well, I think that it'll work out for me. Like, we just got to adjust it so my end time is like sooner, and then I come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, because my kids are now, we go to bed at 8 o'clock because school here starts at 7 a.m. So, like, So Anthony's like, what the what? So, like, my kids, we're out the door by 7 a.m. So we wake up at 6 or 6:15. Wife gets ready. I hang out with the kids for a little bit in the morning and kind of drink a cup of coffee. And then it's like they're home by 2. So it's hilarious because like every day I have an alarm set for 2:08, and Alex will be like, hey, it's lunchtime, so you need to go pick up your kids. And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. Like my wife eats at like 10 a.m. for her lunch. So anyway, so that's the thing. It'll work out. Like if this is our new time, that's cool. Just got to adjust the schedule.
Yeah.
Kyle, what do you think? You like the new one?
I take it or leave it. I don't have kids. So my schedule is kind of my own in that aspect.
Kyle's like, it's fine. I don't really like doing the podcast when I roll out of bed, but
I think you should do it from the bed.
I've been awake for 5.5 hours. Thank you very much.
Something's
I also went
wrong
to bed at 7 a.m.
Dude, I don't know. These are literally brand new. I've never opened them before. And in order to save space, they've packed the smaller ones inside of the bigger ones.
They nesting dolled them.
Which is fine. You would think that would help protect them. The smallest ones have like a double aluminum casing essentially, but they're like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but they're
like rub rash, right?
Yeah, they have like rub rash on them. Like what? Why is that happening? I don't know.
Science.
It sucks, dude.
Yeah.
It's like half of these are scratched. I've sold a few of them, but it's always like I have to find customers that want like every inch of the surface covered, you know, and it's just, I don't know.
Are those like aluminum, like raw aluminum? What is that?
Yeah, they're aluminum. These are raw aluminum. I had black ones, but I sold out of them.
Oh yeah,
and I haven't ever replaced them. These are just from Amazon too, but I liked keeping some of them on hand. And yeah, so these you're gonna find it. You can see at my desk. This is just like as I've been moving things over from the warehouse to the new studio, all of the like random blank BS that has just appeared has gone here. And so I have to go through it all. But I figured I'd show you guys when I was looking at it. Look, this one's all dented.
That was the
literally got a big
stuff
dent
that Alex
in it.
was working on earlier. Definitely was not French fries.
It was setting up the UV laser. I ran into so many issues with the UV laser today, and it reminded me why we don't recommend EasyCAD 3.
So 2 good comments here. One was from Ed. He said you can definitely polish the scratches off with a little bit of rubbing compound. Not the dents,
that's a good
but
idea.
at least Yeah, so that's a good idea. Thanks,
I should
Ed.
try that. I'm going to try that right now.
And then Laura said the little ones are great for tooth fairy containers. That's actually a really cute
smart.
idea. I would
smart.
if I didn't have a laser, I'd drop like $10 on one of those in a heartbeat. Like, oh my god, it's a little tooth container. So cute.
You can put human bones in these.
It's amazing. I put a femur in one. Let's see. Yeah, go for it, Gal.
True Tech says, anyone ever laser their own replacement lenses?
Oh.
No.
What?
Mostly because the lenses that you use for any given particular laser, whether it's a Galvo or a gantry, usually has very specific coatings on it for protecting the lens.
I don't understand the question. Can you clarify the question for me?
I imagine
what
it's
it
cutting
said.
their own lenses
Yeah.
with a laser for the laser.
How would you even do that?
I mean,
Carefully.
you can use a UV to cut it, but
Yeah.
that doesn't really give you the same protection. Like, you're not going to have the materials there to coat it.
Are we talking about lenses for eyewear?
Replacement lenses? I don't know. Could be.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I guess that's open-ended.
Are you talking about an F theta lens?
Open-ended.
So I have used, just to answer this question, two ways. What Kyle is saying is there's definitely, like, you can kind of see the coating on here. Like, if you can zoom in on me, Kyle, because the light's literally perfect for blasting the shit out of this. So you guys can see the fact that my hand is a different color on my palm because the sun is just blasting. But you can also see the reflection. Like, there's, what is it, zinc selenium on these or something, right?
Well, no, zinc selenium is for CO2 lasers.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Selenium oxide.
I mean, it doesn't matter. The lenses are not like a flat plane. They're
right. And that's what I was going to show them. So you can actually
convex.
see these are convex surfaces. And so that's the other thing is you can see the shape of these basically. So we wouldn't be able to cut it. However, and the tint, by the way, is like True Tech said, yeah, I see the tint. So literally that's the coating that's on here to protect the glass from that, like the power basically. The other thing would be you can cut glass. Like I have a customer who came to me and they had an antique cigar device, and it was like an ashtray that had a roulette wheel in it, and it basically just had a circle of glass that needed to be cut. So a flat plane of glass that needed to be cut. And yeah, I turned on the wobble like I did the engrave setting that we have, and I put a wobble on it and just zapped it right out. It actually fractured the glass around it, and then I was able to just kind of like tap on it around the edges, and it fell through. I took a little abrasive to the sides to make sure there was nothing that was going to cut my customer, and then I placed it back into the cigar tray, and like that was that. I just charged him $20 for it, so it was like a 3-inch circle. So, but I had to stop and slow down a few times because like anytime the glass is cracking on the outside of that, it would also, you got to be really careful because it could also be going back to the inside too. So you just got to be really mindful of it.
There's definitely a lot of material science going on with this question that is over my head. And I mean, just a simple reason why none of this is going to work is because the only one of these lenses that is just coated glass is the fiber laser lenses.
Yeah.
Which are typically the cheaper glasses, the K9, and there's quartz. But the UV and CO2 galvo lenses are literally like doped with shit. Like they cook stuff into the glass to enable them to pass the laser. So you'd have to get the right materials first. You'd have to have a way to like grind and then polish them down to perfect convex shapes. I would say no. If this is an F theta question, no. If this is a safety glasses question, maybe, you know.
Oh, down here it says mom was an optician. I somehow have a jug of that UV treatment. Okay.
Well, the UV treatment that you use for optical lenses is not the same at all for what you use for lasers, laser lenses.
Yeah, again, the glass is doped with stuff. The problem with UV lenses is that if you have glass and you're trying to pass an ultraviolet laser through the glass, it will just mark the glass and it will stop the laser from passing through the lens.
Yeah.
So the glass has to actually be doped with a certain amount of element Y or element Z to make it transparent to the ultraviolet wavelength so that it can actually pass through the lens and hit the substrate. That's why you actually don't see UV laser sources or CO2 for that matter being passed through a fiber optic cable, because it would simply mark the fiber optic cable, which would make it opaque to the light, and then it would never get to its destination. So
basically, it's like the Powder Puff Girls. It has chemical X.
Yeah, basically. I'm trying this rubbing. I literally have rubbing compound right here.
There you go.
And I'm trying a dot of it.
Let's watch him do this while we get the next question. Keep it moving here.
Is that McGuire's?
I'm try to go with the grain here.
All right,
this is McGuire's. Yep.
Nice.
So Sam earlier said, "Can I do this in relation to your the title of the thing today?" And he said, "Yeah, sure. Just outsource it to Miranda. She'll get it done. She's a boss."
Yeah, you know, like I always say, Miranda keeps me out of jail, so it will ultimately be thanks to her when we are inevitably successful. I know I can do it. I'm already tired thinking about it. Damn, that does work pretty well.
See, way to go, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work. Chris is coming. Rhiannon is coming. They're going to require training. It's going to be really hard to train them while trying to also make sure the jobs get out and the videos get made and making sure that these two numbskulls keep doing their jobs. So it's just going to be a lot to balance. And that's why I made the title, Can I Do This? Again. Because when I did it the first time, I literally had nothing better to do than just sit around and work on that, experience for the customers, and making sure that we were offering the best service we possibly can. And my plate is much more full now. And so I'm a little concerned, if I'm just being honest, trying to make myself a little more relatable.
Go
ahead. Be a lot. No,
take away from the anxiety and shift gears and talking about full plates. Ed and Michael both want to know, how do you know what Satan's butthole tastes like?
Dude, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
That's fair, and we'll give it. That's where we'll stop that one.
Yeah.
Going way back to that was like 30 minutes ago. Jack in the shop said that his CO was like that with their logo. Yeah, military, by the way, a lot of times you have to get a lot of permission to use anything from the military or from any type of like service, so just a heads up for anybody out there. That's definitely not one that I would do.
It worked really, really well on the one with light scratches. I'm going to try one with a few. This is one of the outermost containers, so it's seen the most action,
the most
if you will. So I'm going to try to put a little more on this one, but it did work really well on the very light scratches. This is probably just because of the amount of elbow grease involved. I think like a rotary tool of some sort,
or
like
I was just thinking
grinder would be even better.
A polishing wheel.
You've got your rotary tool from Ryobi, and if you if you don't have it, you can buy like this pack that comes with the compound in a little tube, and it actually comes with like a grit wheel, and it's also got like a buffing wheel.
The only reason I don't like using automated systems for this kind of work is, and this is probably just a me problem, but I feel like it's way too easy to over polish one area and then not the rest of it, and then it ends up being uneven or it won't match the original on like the other half of the thing. And then I run into that with windproof lighters a lot, because those often need polishing after being marked, and I'll put them on like a bench grinder with a polishing wheel on it, and I'll have like a really shiny half of a Zippo and then like half of it that looks the way it's supposed to look. And so, I find it a little easier when doing low quantities to do this kind of work by hand. It worked very good on the deep scratches. Not excellent, but very good.
Yeah, but enough to
an improvement.
Hit it with an engrave. That looks dope.
Yeah, so basically when I offer these to somebody, I would probably polish up my best 3 and put those on the display, out in the kind of customer room, and then polish them at like out of the box as needed, rather than doing them all in advance because they're just going to get scratched again.
You mentioned grain. You said grain before. Do those have like a brushed appearance to them?
Yeah, they do. It's very, very, and this is a flaw in my camera setup right now. But if I climb up on this chair like an idiot and hold out both my hands. Come on now. Come on. Focus. Oh, I can't reach any higher. Please focus. I need something flat. Welcome to the Laser Source podcast, the #1 podcast. If you love the back, oh hey, look. Speak of the devil.
I'd like
you love the back of my head.
Is that the devil's bow? What are you talking about?
Okay, here we go.
There it is. It's gonna happen right there.
Hey.
Boom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Can you see it? Whoop. There it goes.
God, there's a dent in it now.
And now it's
Now it's
scratched
really
again.
scratched. Yeah.
All right. Well, a couple of things real quick. Ed C was agreeing with you. He said for the more dense scratches, for heavy scratches, he uses the Joules compound with a Dremel. But
Yeah, I have that too.
with the green compound. But what he was saying is, and this is exactly what you were saying, the brushed aluminum. I like that. Where'd it go? Problem with aluminum is if you use it too fast and it gets too hot, it discolors in that spot, and that's that.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're talking about here. So yeah, it's one of those things.
Well, one thing I was going to bring up is
Resin Dragon said, "Buff it again."
if you have like 800 grit sandpaper laying around, I cut this brass G out of a sheet.
Oh, hold on a second.
And you can see it was shiny and scratched, and I actually hand brushed it again.
Ooh.
So I used this. You can get it in an automotive store. It's 3M, and it's 800 grit, and you just lay it down on a flat surface and just in one direction, just keep swiping, and you go over it and over it, and it will redo that brushed look. I had some stainless steel business cards that came scratched, and I ran into that an issue with I was trying to sell it to somebody, and they had these gouges in them. So I actually sanded them down, went to 400, and then went to 800, and it gave it a flawless brushed look to it.
See,
That's
I actually
awesome.
did that with a brass coin before. So it was before I knew that you could do it in it, the different layers and stuff like that. It was one of the first coins I'd done. And there was slag built up on the top. And so I was like, oh, I'll get it off of sandpaper. And I just went like this, and it looked like crap. And I was like, oh, God. And then my dad goes, why don't you just brush it one way all the way across? And I was like, oh, yeah. And it literally looked like it was a brushed surface on one side. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty good.
And these have they're padded. So
that's nice.
it'll help conform to any irregularities in the surface. So it's not like sandpaper on a table where some spots might hit and some won't.
Yeah,
This
and
will kind of.
I'm glad
It was
you
just an
said
idea.
that. So we actually just had a guy on the LMA this week. So hold yours up real quick if you don't mind, if you got that still. No, the brass. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. So we had a guy, and I'm just going to talk about it because a guy on the LMA was struggling to mark brass with our brass white settings, and one of the first questions Alex and I both asked was, does it have treatment or is it sanded? What is it? What the surface looks like it had an issue with it. And one of the people from Australia on the LMA was talking about how they have different grades of aluminum. So yours is definitely ready for marking at this point versus this guy. And so if you can click on me there, Kyle. So this is the back of just a little trophy plaque, right? But this is definitely treated, and it is not ready for engraving. So you could blast this with a dark engrave and do something on it. But it does matter, and it is different.
But
so
you're going to say you can
surface
sandblast
market,
it, which is a really good idea.
Yeah.
got me really big still. Oh my God. Yeah.
If you have a sandblaster, sandblasting brass like that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Because it'll take that coating right off.
So that's one of the things, though. If you, he actually, I think that, because I think it was Alex, you helped me answer that question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so literally we looked at the pictures, zoomed in, we're like, no, there's definitely a treatment. You can see almost like a patina on it, like some kind of a thing. And so he said that there was like an oil on the surface, and that's what they did. They basically sandblasted it, cleaned it off really good. And it was like chef's kiss after that, you know?
Yeah, that's something that's missing from my shop that I feel like would be immensely helpful to have. It doesn't need to be a super nice one, but like a sandblaster would be so convenient for so many things here.
Yeah, like every time I go into Harbor Freight, I always walk past that one that's like the cheap one, and I'm like, maybe, but then I'm like, nah, God, just the amount of abrasive and all the stuff you gotta like. It's just like another thing. Oh yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
What are you holding up here? Shot glass.
They're just shot glasses. Yeah, have some shot glasses ready to go.
Hey,
These are just some no-name brand. There's 12
Alicia's here.
of
She
them in
said
that box.
sandblaster's next on my list too.
I have so many people that just walk in and they're like, "You got a shot glass?" Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I have one. I also wanted to show these. Again, I'm just breaking out the stuff that I need to get ready for us reopening, guys. These, nothing.
Oh yeah, look at these.
These cost a dime or whatever. They're just Altoids boxes. There's a silver one. There's a black one with the painted coating on it. It's nice and matte, just like the really nice business cards that we like to talk about all the time. They both look great. Giant box of them. I had 2 boxes. I just combined them. And I do them often enough. These sell. Yeah, these sell. These sell and they cost nothing. I just combined my 2 full boxes of these into one box because I didn't have enough to fill the 2 boxes anymore. And these, unlike the stupid rounds, actually come packaged in like a nice, yeah, it's just thin plastic, but it's enough. It's all you need to stop that scratching from happening. This looks brand spanking new. This is shiny as all hell. So
2 things real quick. Number 1, Alicia to you said, I got those shot glasses that you recommended from Bar Products, and they're great to engrave because they're nice and flat.
Yeah,
so,
barproducts.com is amazing. Yep.
So thank you on that one. And then the other thing I was going to say is, do you have one of those aluminum cases again, the black one that you can grab real quick?
Yeah. Yep.
So Alicia's daughter has a jewelry company that's called Kickin' Silver. And it's literally, hers comes in something similar to that. It's like, I think hers was round, but that's the kind of thing, if you went to a jewelry shop or like a custom jeweler or something like that, you could design those and sell them those boxes, buy them for a dime, engrave like Anthony was talking about. You go to their shop, you see those things, and you walk in and you're like, hey, what does your packaging look like right now? And all they'd have to do is put that little fabric-y stuff down underneath it. You know, I'm talking like that, like cotton fabric stuff.
Which you could probably laser cut for them too. Let's be honest.
Yeah. And so like just bada bing, bada boom, you just made some easy money. And those are the kind of things that they need all the time. They're consumable. So
I said that like 4 too many times tonight. I just, so you know.
Bada boom.
Wham.
Anthony, did you have something you wanted to add?
Bada bing.
Oh man, Kyle, what do you think?
Whammo.
Alex is just like, I hate these guys.
So True Tech was asking about, what about sintering sand into structures using a laser?
What is sintering? I don't even know what that is. That's out of my league.
It's like you're forming it into something else. It's like how laser sintering metal is like you're 3D printing metal using laser sintering.
Didn't answer my question,
but
okay.
You form it into
it's sintering. It's like when you sinter something, you
like
sinter it into something else.
Right alignment? It's a sinter.
You're taking like powderized or granular product and turning it into.
Oh, like when Michael used the powder coat with the laser?
No. It's like if Michael took powder coat and turned it into a 3D print.
The Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's what he's talking. These are not designed for that. There are 3D printers that are designed to do that, and these are not them.
We don't have the
Z
capability.
It's 3D printing with metal. There you go.
Yeah. These are not designed for that. Even a 3D fiber, for example, would still be the wrong tool for that. There are purpose-built machines for stuff like that.
Okay.
And it costs as much as a
The
house.
next question is one I
Yes.
highlighted because we talked about it on the
Wait,
LMA.
look at these. Look, Throwback Thursday, even though it's Tuesday. They're my free mascot glasses.
Hey,
I
that's
still
what I
recommend
use.
these.
Yeah.
These are great. Sorry, continue.
Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I highlighted this one because we have seen it over and over, and actually there's two more people at the very bottom of our the live chat going on right now who just asked about it. Hector Torres says, engraving glass with a fiber laser, do you need black tint or can you just go straight forward? Like I'm assuming, do you need to add the titanium oxide, like the brilliance ink?
So
yeah, go for it.
So you need a thing.
A UV.
No, he's saying a fiber. When you're using a fiber on glass, the videos you're seeing on YouTube, which is probably where a lot of the misconception comes from, with marking glass with a fiber, those are M8 sources, and they're using a different. They're using a higher output, I will say.
It has to do with peak pulse output power.
Yeah. So essentially, for 99.9% of people, because the M8 sources that utilize that just aren't a ton of them around.
You can't even find them. They're
the only one
and rare.
The only manufacturer I know of that sells them. Usually, you see 100-watt sources burning a hole through glass, and those are 100-watt M8 sources. The only one I've seen through a vendor is a 20-watt M8 MOPA from Cloud Ray, and I think it's like $4,000.
It's the one you talked me out of buying.
It's the one I talked you out of buying because you could get a 50-watt JPT for that. And
well, I got my 80-watt CO2 for that. So.
Exactly, even better. Yeah. So I mean,
there's a purpose built. Like the M8 is weird to me in particular because it's like trying to force the fiber to do a job that is designed for a different kind. Like, get the purpose built machine for that.
And there are huge trade-offs too. You lose with the M8s, you lose a lot of your pulse duration adjustability. Your kilohertz range is way limited. So you end up paying $20,000 in some cases for the source. And it's like a very like Alex said, it's very purpose built. Like
I feel like it's one of those rabbit
one
finds. Really. You know, like you read about it and you're like, it's better because it's different, and then you get it and you're like, it's different because it's different.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations, and we get this question a lot too. So it's not just about this, but like M8 sources have their purpose, and for the vast majority of people, it doesn't serve the purpose they need. It's chasing the new shiny thing, but it doesn't actually fulfill the needs that they have.
Here's another thing too. Okay, this is not anybody's fault. It's just confusing. The M8 is not a successor to the M7.
Different,
right?
They are just separate products, and you should not be thinking about an M8 as a successor to the M7. It's not a new iteration of the same product. They're completely different products. The M7 isn't being phased out. It's not going anywhere. Brand new M7 sources are still being manufactured because just like every other different type of laser that we discuss on the channel, it is a separate machine with a separate use case that as Kyle and Matt said, very, very few people have. So don't think of it as like the iPhone 7 versus the iPhone 8. That is not how they're using that naming convention.
Yeah,
they're literally just separate products.
Alicia's in chat saying the same thing. She said it's like too many people are doing too much with one. They're trying to do too many things with one or two lasers, and you wouldn't use a table saw for all the jobs in your workshop. You know, you got to make sure you get the right tool for the job. So,
I think this might be a collectible.
Easy cat. Oh my god! By the way, is your free 100 hours of AOL online next to you?
That's a different disc. But
oh my god, Doom.
That's zero.
Oh, okay, no, I thought that was Doom like installation.
No, his OG OM Tech.
This is an OM Tech from before they called themselves OM Tech. But yeah, this dude, look at this. Oh my god, it's brand new. is literally brand new.
Don't pull a Linus. Don't drop that.
I'm going
kidding,
to.
right?
I feel
Don't
like
do
it's
it.
focused on your the little flower you got down there.
It will focus on literally anything except for the thing I'm holding up. We'll definitely have to rework the system, but
Yeah.
So
Well, so let's circle back here because we kind of roundabouted this question. So engraving with a fiber, need black tin, or can you go straight forward? So again, for the mass majority of users, you can't go straight forward. You're not going to mark a fiber with a fiber on glass. It's just going to go right through it. So what you need is an intermediary. So if you're dead set on marking with a fiber on glass, you need another substrate material added to it. So whether you do like the hack of putting aluminum foil on the backside, engraving through it, and getting a reverse engrave, which is frustrating at best. You have the option of adding like tempera paint to the surface, and
that might be what he meant by his question. Black tint, like black paint.
That's what I figured is either titanium oxide or that.
Yeah, so it might be because there have been some recent videos on the interwebs where people are using tempera paint. I think they're airbrushing it on the glass, and then they have settings that are engraving in it. So
my issue with that though is it's like the can you and should you. So the issue is if you're trying to run a production run where you have 50 of these things, nope. If you're trying to just see if you could, sure. You know,
it's like can my Samsung smart fridge run Doom? Maybe you shouldn't play Doom on it.
Would you want to play Doom on it for more than 8 seconds?
So that's it. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on that.
Is the end result going to be something that you want to put your name on? You know? So it's like,
or that you can reproduce consistently is the other thing. Because maybe you put too little coat of paint on there. Maybe you put too much, and then you've got an uneven engrave. Maybe you put too much heat through that process, and it cracks the glass the first time it goes through a dishwasher, and it explodes in somebody's dishwasher. It's just not the right tool.
And let's not forget to, I know we're like a last thought, and then we can move on. I know we got to do like a speed run here to get through whatever we have left because we're over time.
Question, then we're done.
But I know we're like a Galvo focused channel here, and that's primarily what we talk about. And the Galvo CO2 is not the tool for the job for these. But gantry CO2 lasers, continuous wave lasers exist, and they don't do UV quality glass, but they do glass. I ran my business on a CO2 laser for a very long time for glass work before I got a UV, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if you really want to do glass and you really don't want to buy a UV, maybe a small CO2 laser would be an option for you. It would be far more cost effective long term, especially once your time becomes more valuable, and that way is particularly important. So just another random last second thing to consider.
All right, 2 things, and then we got to it's already an hour and 10 minutes. So Vince is actually the person who I told the person in LMA to tag and talk to. So Vince is the only Vince I trust with his processes. He's very, very good at actually creating processes to do something. So if you wanted to talk to Vince about his success with the titanium oxide on glass, he'd be the guy that I would point to, if anybody.
And Vince is very active on the LMA.
Yep, that's how I knew he had done it.
Yeah, if you're curious why we keep mentioning titanium dioxide or TiO2 when you're reading it, but that is the active ingredient in Brilliance laser inks and Duramark and whatever the hell else laser marking spray. There's 7 of them out there now. There's options, but essentially they all use a formulation of titanium dioxide.
And it reacts well with the lasers. So
all right.
The last one that I saw, because it's very important, because Alex has lost his mind on this a few times on the show. I need recommendations for fiberglasses that will fit my budget and fit my lenses. And I've got this already ready to show you. So if you head over to lasereverything.net, we have the buying guide there. And we don't really talk. I feel like we don't give the buying guide the love it deserves because there's so many resources here. But basically, you go over here to PPE, and it's got laser safety glasses. And right there, we got links to take you to specific ones for fiber. And it's literally what I've got behind me. It's what Alex was just holding up a few minutes ago. These will fit over. I've got big Oakleys, and these fit right over. They also sell goggles. So if you go to Amazon now, they've got goggles on the list. Oh, yeah, look, there's Anthony. Look at this.
If you want to always look like you're getting ready to hit some fresh powder, boom.
And
So,
by
yeah,
that, he means
will-
no.
Right, yes, no.
So that's
it
one
even
option.
it even has like grooves here
Oh,
along
that's
the
dope
edge.
to let
So
the air out.
Well, I think that's
for your glasses.
Yeah, the arms of your glasses.
Oh, get out of here.
I'm getting ready to order a pair of those, by the way.
That's
Yeah, they get a little
have to-
foggy if it's super humid out, but it's
Or
I have to-
if you run hot as a human.
By the way, I was going to say for the UV free mascots, some of these do actually like the protective. They've actually got the listing on it of what it covers, and it's got the test readout on Amazon now. I think because of our show, honestly, they didn't used to have that. Now they do. But anyways, what's cool is some of those actually will cover 2 different ones. You just got to make sure you read up on it. Because my UV glasses will actually cover the fiber also. It's rated higher for the UV, but it's still at like a 6 for fiber. So it's nice having almost like a secondary pair that you can use on a couple of lasers. So just saying.
I have to address some misinformation here.
Go for it.
Auto darkening contact lens kit.
No.
Yes, clip-ons make sense for regular glasses. Cut film to doctor up dollar store
I
glasses.
feel like True Tech just trolls us sometimes, so I just ignore a lot of that stuff.
These are not good suggestions.
You could cover your eyes like this.
Brightness is not really the concern of what you're protecting yourself from. Yes, you can get welder's eye, but that doesn't protect you from the wavelength of light. You cannot see the wavelength that's coming out of the laser and still be blinded by it. So, no, that's not a valid claim. Don't do that.
You could be blinded with science. So, anyways,
It's like
that was the last one.
you're gonna put some fucking sunglasses on and block an X-ray. All right.
I like
anyway,
I like to wear them like this.
I have to mention the no IRs that I'm in love with now. I used to wear the big, heavy goggles, and now I really, really like these for going over my glasses. They're super nice. They're like entirely made. They're like entirely made of the filter material.
Oh, nice.
Like 100%. So you get to really keep your peripheral vision, and it's no IR, so you don't need to worry about the quality. They can be a little pricey depending on the wavelength that you're blocking, and I know you want it to fit your budget. The free mascots do that, but and what do I say every time that this comes up on the podcast? If you went blind tomorrow, how much would you pay to get your vision back, having lost it? And I think $200 is a low answer. So,
There you go. All right, that was the last question. That's everything we got. Ready to close
beautiful. Yeah, Anthony does.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you ready to close this out and then click something.
Oh, bro, we didn't have time for the tour today. Will you upload one to your channel?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys don't subscribe to Anthony's channel, subscribe to it. We'll put a link in the description so you can find it.
Thank you.
Anthony has a cool YouTube channel, and I know he's planning a lot more content for it, for sure.
There is a short video from when I did first move in, but the shop is completely empty. So yeah, I'll get that tomorrow. I'll try to get that uploaded. So
really quick,
by the time
bro.
this airs.
As part of the closeout, can you, as a paying member, let people know why they should go sign up for the LMA?
3, 2, 1, go.
For the LMA, it's you have access to a lot of not just the Alex and Kyle and Matt. You have access to just a plethora of information from people who are on their lasers nonstop every day. They do it either as a serious hobby or as a living, and they're right there at your fingertips. So, I mean, the Laser Master Academy is worth its weight in gold just in the experience and knowledge that you can tap into with a couple of keystrokes. And they're always very prompt and very, very intelligent and thoughtful answers. Whereas, Facebook and other places, like I live on Discord, but if I really want to know something, I go to the LMA because that's where the people that are going to give you the most intelligent, most knowledgeable answer are most likely to appear. So if you haven't signed up for the LMA yet and you'd love to support the channel, I'd say it's worth every bit of money that you could throw at us or, the channel. And, it's just worth its weight in gold. 24 karat, right, Matt?
You
24 carats.
you are an eloquent motherfucker. You know that?
Yeah.
An eloquent motherfucker.
And that's it, guys. Yeah, seriously, all of the stuff that Anthony said is 100% accurate, and it's the number one way to support the channel. It's the only way that I can afford to pay our employees and build these beautiful sets, and you know, take you guys along on the journey as things continue to evolve, especially with the shop reopening. So please, if you haven't already, consider going over there and signing up. You can sign up for as little as now $5 a month. It actually went down, so it's cheaper now than it has ever been before to support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Go check out Anthony's stuff. He's got just a ton of stuff online. You can find him at the Discord. If you want to ask him questions, he's a mod over there. He's a mod on Facebook. He's a mod on the LMA. So he's pretty easy to track down if you want to get in touch with him.
And you should subscribe to his YouTube.
Yeah,
If you want to
obviously,
see me
yes,
engrave eloquent motherfucker on this wallet
oh god,
right here,
yes.
you can subscribe to my channel.
Getting wet just thinking about it. And,
I think that's all I've got, guys. Take one last look at this sick ass apron. You're going to be seeing a lot more of it, and that's all I've got. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Have a great night, everybody.
I'm not anywhere near a computer.